Hello, darling viewers. It's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing The Witches of Cambridge by Menna Van Praag. So this is a contemporary adult fiction novel that follows a group of witches in Cambridge, England, and they are mostly all smart, educated university professors. And in fact, we are following a book club that meets once a month and discusses books and also they're all witches and, share camaraderie about having magical powers and being able to cast spells and stuff. Actually, the book club is called the Cambridge University Society of Literature and Witchcraft. I appreciated this look at British universities. Like, I know Cambridge by reputation, but I didn't actually know a whole lot about the actual university system in England or about Cambridge as a town, so I appreciated this look into that world. Also, we have a bunch of witches that have magical powers. So the magic in here isn't quite so much like Harry Potter magic and more like practical Wiccan type stuff going on in here. They have innate abilities that some of them can do, and then they can also do spells, but they're more like knowing how to use herbs. Like, certain herbs are good for some things, and if you combine them in certain ways, they'll do other things. So much more like practical magic, the movie, than, say, Harry Potter. It's a little more realistic and a little more toned down kind of magical stuff going on in here. And this book mostly focuses on characters and their personal journeys. I was kind of hoping for more of like a chick lit type book. And I mean, there are a lot of female characters in here that are really strong, but it's not really like a comedy so much. There's a lot of serious stuff happening in here. So, for instance, the first character we meet is Amandine Bisset, and she is an art history professor. And she's of French heritage. So she was born in England, but both her parents were French immigrants. And she has inherited this ability to feel other people's emotions and what they're feeling. And this kind of causes problems in her marriage because she can tell that something is up with her husband, but can't tell what. Like, he isn't excited to see her. He's not really in love with her anymore. He's hiding a secret. She can feel all of this, but she can't decipher why. And so she thinks he's having an affair, and she sets out trying to figure out who the other woman is, and if she can find proof of it, and also what's the best way to confront him about it. And then we also found out they had this like absolutely perfect, amazing, wonderful marriage. They were incredibly in love and great until they had kids, and then things like, at first everything with the kids was great. Even he's a great father, but then sometime a few months ago he just like completely shut off and shut out her and the kids, and so she feels lost. We also have Amandine's mother, Heloise, who is a retired English French literature professor. She's a literature professor. And Heloise used to have premonitions about the future, so she would just get flashes of possible things that could happen. Stuff like stock market type stuff going on here. But it's unpredictable and erratic and not always, like, the visions she has are generally truthful, but she can't control them and she can't always get the visions that she wants. And they have actually completely stopped the last 2 years after her husband has died mysteriously. And Heloise has some major guilt going on about her husband's death and feeling responsible for it. And she's been kind of locked inside herself for the last 2 years and inside her house. And we find out that she's been having conversations with her dead husband. And she seems mostly sane, but also is totally not happy being here without him. And so we see her trying to come back to her family, to Amandine, to her grandchildren, and to the world around her. And it's kind of a slow struggle for her. We also have Noah, Noa, who is a girl, and she sees everyone's secrets. Like, as soon as she meets someone, she knows all the secrets, and she can't stop herself from blurting them out. So when she was little, her mom was having an affair, and one day she just couldn't stop herself from blurting it out at the dinner table, and it ended up causing her parents' divorce. And so she has trouble connecting with people because everyone is hiding secrets from her. And they tend to resent you if you just start blurting out their secrets randomly, and you can't control it. So she really only has a close friend in her aunt. And then when she starts taking art history classes from Amandine and finds out that she is a witch, and Amandine emphasizes because she knows what it's like to just suddenly not be able to because Amandine knows what it's like to not control what information you're getting from people. But Noah really wants to get rid of this, and the price that she's paying in pursuit of that might be a little too high, and it causes all kinds of complications. So actually, Noah's story arc was like my favorite and the most interesting, and it definitely gets dark at times and creepy. But also, I don't want to spoil what happens, so I can't tell you too much about hers. Sorry. We also have Kat, who is the strongest overall spell worker out of the group. Kat teaches mathematics, so I appreciate the fact that she thinks in formulas and just loves math. And she's very passionate in math, and that's pretty much her life, except for this book club, and in particular, the one male witch in the group, George, who Kat's got a secret crush on and hasn't told him. And things get complicated when Kat's sister Cosima, Cosima, but Kat's sister decides that she wants a baby, and she sees George and accidentally, like, she's trying to put this divination spell in to find a man who wants a child, and George kind of lights up as being one of these potential guys, and she casts the spell wrong, so he ends up madly in love with her. And so she and George start this process of like having a baby together. But Kat's like, I'm in love with him. What? No, you guys, this is not okay. And she's mad at her sister for casting a spell on her best friend and manipulating him that way. So Kat, Cosima's, and George's triangle thing going on here I thought was really interesting and fascinating. It definitely gets complicated. And Cosima is really good at baking and casting spells through that. In fact, she owns a bakery and casts spells for like having a good day and being in a good mood and like kind of using magic to make customers come back to her. And George is actually kind of not a strong spell caster. And it's kind of funny to watch him because he's kind of surprised that he ended up in this book club and that he has these girls. And then he's also not a terribly strong spellcaster, and then he's also kind of confused about why Kat gets mad at him all of a sudden. He's a little perplexed. That is the cast of characters for this book. Like I said, it's not so much a plot, so much. I mean, there are tiny plot threads woven throughout here, but they're character-driven plot threads. So it's much more about these characters, which I thought were interesting. So the magic in this book is subtle and wasn't exactly what I was expecting, so it took me a while to kind of get into the groove of this. Also, these books with large casts of characters and are very character-driven always take me a while to fall into. By the end of these books, I love these characters, and that totally happened in this one. Like, I loved each of these characters, but it just took me so long to get to know them all. There's definitely references to literature and reading and art and mathematics, so if you love any of those things, we've got characters that have very strong passions for those. This book surprised me. It was not what I was expecting when I picked it up, but I did end up liking it. I'm pretty sure I gave it 3 stars. It's something like a 3 stars. It's a very solid book. Not one of my favorites, like a typical fantasy journey that I would just like be in love with. This is not my typical read. Like, there's witches in it, but it's not like the fantasy world where you have defeating evil and having to battle and everything. So I enjoyed it and liked it, and it surprised me. So yay for surprises and finding books that I kind of slowly fall in love with. So there's my review for The Witches of Cambridge. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this book and what you thought of it, or if you've read other of Menna Van Praag's books, and if I'm pronouncing that correctly, also let me know. Do you recommend or don't recommend any of her other books? Yeah. So peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.